Hello and welcome to Ule Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Gemini, our card tonight is the Prince of Wands. We're just going to knock, knock, knock and see what these tea leaves have to say. So immediately sticking their tongue out at us, you can see the eye, the nose, the mouth, and the little tongue hanging out. Kind of cute. So we do have kind of a silly energy, just a little bit, which I'm not sad about at all. Excuse me. And so if you want to like, comment, subscribe, please think about doing that. I'd love to hear from you. We have a goose in migration here. Okay, we also have a person standing down here holding something, looking upwards. I feel like in a very devotional posture, kind of lifting up towards the sky. Now, we also have up here, it looks like a fish. Okay, we have a fish, and then this way it looks like a tree. So to me, we are in a place here where we're thinking about money. We're thinking about building a legacy. We're thinking about how can I begin something that is really going to take root, right? If I start a company, I don't want to just do something that I'm going to put all this time and effort into and then, in like a year or so, it's just going to be, fizzled out into nothing. No, I want something that's really going to get some traction. I'm not going to put all of my effort into something that I don't care about or believe in. And that's really where I feel you are right now. And not just in the place of conceiving of the idea. It's not, I feel like you're beyond, like I have this idea for this thing I want to do, and maybe one day I'll have the time and money to be able to do that. No, I think that you have already planned. You've already gathered up the money, or you're in the process, but you are beginning. You've already begun. And I feel like whatever it is, this hustle, this second job, this business, this kind of gig work, or whatever it is that you're doing, maybe you're switching careers, or you've gone back to school and you're starting to look for, positions at different companies or whatever. I feel like the universe is really blessing this movement in your life. Because I think wherever you were before this, like a year ago, 2 years ago, it felt pretty stagnant. That's not to say you didn't work super hard to get to where you were. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get over this head cold. And I feel lots better, but I still have a cough in my throat. So I feel like, obviously you worked hard to get to where you were. And I feel like as you get older, or at least I have, I've really, really come to understand this, is that we can spend a lot of time working towards a dream, right? Something that seems like, oh, this makes so much sense. I love this. I love doing this. Why shouldn't I, go to school and learn about it and then get a career going and, maybe work my whole life in this field? And that's a wonderful, cool, amazing thing to be able to do. But so often we put a lot of effort into something and we get there, we arrive, right, at our goal. And we realize this maybe wasn't even something that I myself wanted. This is maybe what my parents wanted. Maybe I went to school for the same thing my dad did. Because his dad did as well. Maybe I started doing the same kind of work that my mom did because there was a position at her job, and that's where I went after school. And now I'm doing the thing, and I've made it, and everything's, on paper it looks good. I should be happy. I should be, just in the bliss of all of my achievements. But I find myself here, and I don't know what the heck I'm doing. It's not like I thought it was going to be. And this is part of those beginning stages, in my opinion, of individuation. This is when we begin to shed the conditioning. When we start to look at our life and think, am I living in somebody else's concept of the world, of life? Am I just trying to make other people happy? What do I actually want? Have you ever really asked yourself that? Not what you should want, not what your best friend wants, not what your mom wanted for you, not what the internet is doing. What do you want? It's hard to say, right? Sometimes we have an answer. For me, I want to be with God. I want to live a life, and I say God as a placeholder, right? God, Goddess, the divine. I want to live a life that is of the divine. If I were somebody who was belonging to like some kind of Christology or one of the Abrahamic religions, I would want to be like a nun. I would want to live like a saint, all of that. But for me, it's about finding how to live that way in my mundane life. Having a family, keeping a home, running a business, and growing as a person, right? Evolving as a being. Now, there are other days where you ask me that question, and I say, I would like a nap. That is my core want, desire, path in life, is to have a little bit of a dang break one of these days, right? But it is, and I feel you arriving at this place in your life where you've been through some ordeals. You've had some letdowns. You've failed sometimes. You've triumphed in others. But now you are at that point. You're not a child anymore. And maybe you are not raising children anymore, because let's face it, when you are in those years of raising children, your life really is not your own. Not completely. But I feel you having the freedom, or at least there's a freedom within yourself, right? A courageousness, like the dang phoenix rising. And I see you deciding in favor of yourself, your authentic being. And when we see the goose in migration, I know you are devoted to yourself. You are worshipful to self. Now, I don't mean in like some egomaniac way, but if you could think of yourself as being a divine being, created of stardust, literally created of stardust. You are a child of God, goddess, of the great mysteries of the universe. You are a miracle. You are something so profoundly beautiful. There are no utterances that could begin to express how perfect and unique and wonderful and necessary that you are. Without you, all of this collapses. We all rely on one another like a pyramid, a spider web, a wall, like one of those bridges where they don't have the supports. It's just like they have it angled in such a way where like all of the bricks just hold each other perfectly. It's like so tightly put together that it keeps it from falling. You are one of those bricks. You are one of those things, the fragments that we need, we must have, for all of this to be. And so when you come into this place of honoring self, being devoted to self, worshipful to yourself, you are the icon, and you are also the high priestess, the high priest, and all of the, what is the word? The devotees, right? But it's not easy. It's not easy because we cling to the identity that was given to us. We cling to the identity that we create to survive life. All of the ordeals and hardships and the wonders and the mystery and the exploration and the awe. Yeah, each of us have created maybe even many personas to be able to just kind of walk through life. But you are at this most important part where you are recreating self. You are stripping away that old stuff. It does not serve you well any longer. And I see you seeing that. And I see you moving towards, like the sun, right? The illumination. Letting yourself be all of the many things that you are. And I feel like this energy, this power, that's it. It's the power. Putting it into your efforts to do the things you want to do. Start that business. Start that channel on YouTube. I don't know what else. Go and start like a side hustle. Start walking dogs, or I have a friend that just started doing detailing, doing like a mobile detailing kind of thing. Loving it and making money doing it, right? Finding something that it speaks to your soul. It aligns for you in a way that you want to live, to get out of the rat race. Just that endless maze And so I do. I see you putting your all of your efforts into this new phase of life, this new part of your life. And the money will come. I see that. The money will come. The legacy will come. This will be something that you might start doing it and thinking, well, you know, it's kind of a hobby. I like to do it. It's not that big of a deal. And next thing you know, you don't need your day job anymore, right? You can start doing this full time. I believe that. I believe by the end of next year, 2025, if you stay the course here, if you listen to yourself and you put in the work and you're smart about things, right? Don't just like quit your job and go do this. Like start the business while you're also working. I'm not saying to just completely like abandon what's going on, right? Also, I'm an overly cautious person. So, you know, so do it cautiously. But I feel like by next year, you will be making some good money. Absolutely. Now we have eyes on you. You are kind of the talk of the family, it looks like. I see the word yuck. Yuck. Somebody's saying yuck. But I want to see why. And it looks like it says cootie, yuck cootie. So I'm thinking like this is germs. It almost feels like somebody maybe who was pretty young when they transitioned kind of coming through. I almost wonder if this is like a good friend of yours, a neighborhood kid, maybe even a sibling. They maybe are not even departed, but I think it's like that part of who they are when they were that age and you were very close with them and you could joke and play and has stuck with you. And I almost wonder if they are still around but inaccessible to you. And I'm thinking this has to do with probably melancholy, depression, maybe addiction. We have the lobster right here. So I almost feel like there's like a sense of wanting to reach out to them. Maybe you've been thinking about them lately. Or there's an anniversary coming up or something like this. Now, let's do our oracle cards. I kind of want to see like what's going on that this is coming up, right? This relationship, and it's to me, it's like a child that's like maybe 7 or 8, kind of a little bit like you would get in trouble together. Like you were kind of not naughty together. But that was such a good friend, right? You were so close. And I want to see. Okay, so we're going to do 3 up here. Control, revenge, discrimination. Okay. So definitely a father figure, maybe a grandfather. Feels like maybe this was somebody who was discriminatory in some way. I just feel like very hateful. It feels like a very hateful person. Mean and judgmental and wouldn't let them play. And I don't know, it had nothing to do with you maybe, but it's almost like, I almost wonder if this is like a neighborhood kid because it feels close enough that there's like ill will between families or the community. And this friendship that you have, it's just like trapped in there, right? Like if it was just you and your friend, no parents involved, you would be totally cool. Everything would be great. But there's the dramas. Now, I want to look again. I want to see 2 more. Secrets, flirtation. Okay, 1 more. Detachment. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe this stems from some kind of infidelity, emotional infidelity. Maybe, you know, just almost like a situation where maybe their mom was like talking to your dad and their dad saw that and they freaked out and, you know, and thought they were flirting and there were secrets and there's all this control and, you know, just kind of like this suffocating, oppressive feeling. At the end of it all, though, I think there is the detachment. And I wonder now if this kid who is coming through did like kind of go on to have a kind of troubled life. And you lost touch because you just went different directions. But for some reason, I feel like you've been thinking about them. And maybe you saw them, maybe, you know, maybe you heard about them through the grapevine or, you know, whatever it is. I have no advice about reaching out. You know, for me, if you watch my channel, I'm always kind of like, don't go backwards. Do not reach out to the old, you know, random friends that you think of or, you know, go look up the ex and see what they're doing. Don't do it. It's almost never, ever worth it. But in this situation, I don't know, maybe go and see what's going on. But, you know, be discerning, most definitely. Now, we also have, let's take a look. I want to look at this one really quick. We have the letter C. We have an incense burner. So I feel like this is about cleansing. Cleansing the household. Somebody, oh my goodness, I almost feel like maybe you moved into a home where somebody used to smoke inside. If you've ever lived in a place where people smoked and then they tried to like paint over the walls without you know, basically like scraping the walls down and cleaning them and then painting, you'll know, especially if there's moisture, the yellow stuff from the smoke, years of somebody smoking inside, will start to come through. And I'm almost like getting this, it's like a yellow, like it's yellow stuff that comes out through the paint and stuff. And I feel like, I don't think that you smoke or maybe you used to, but I feel that, yeah, something about the house where it's like you've been trying to like get rid of this. I don't even think it's a smell so much as like, it just, I don't know. There's just a heaviness to like where somebody has smoked. I lived in one place where I had to basically remodel the bathroom because it was like that. And I don't say this as like a super judgmental person because listen, I smoked for years when I was younger. So, not somebody to hold judgment at all. But don't smoke in your house because it will ruin it. So, yeah, but also there's this feeling of incense, right? Of like maybe you going through and burning. But I don't think you're burning it because of the smoke smell. I almost wonder if there is somebody who has departed, but they're tied to the house that you live in. And maybe when they come around, they kind of smell like the smoke too. But I think that this is really in your consciousness. I mean, there just seems to be so much activity right now with this. And I think that you've even considered, like, how can I kind of clear out this energy? Now, I'm not going to go through the whole process of explaining, like, how you clean your walls. You can look that up easily. But for cleansing, I would say one of the big things is, if you live somewhere where it has gotten cool enough or warm enough, if you're in the southern hemisphere, open your windows. All of the windows in your house. Okay? I like to do it at night, but please be mindful. If you go to bed and your windows are open, please be safe. Okay? This is me, mom friend telling you. Be safe, okay? But other than that, yeah. Open the windows. Get some fresh air through there. Okay? Now, burning things, there are a lot of different ways that you can do that. One that I don't hear about a lot that I actually really like to do myself is burning bay leaves. Okay? Now, you might think, okay, don't we make soup with those, Lenor? Yeah, we do. But get yourself like a little plate or, whatever you use for your incense, or if you are, really fancy, like my sister. And let me just qualify this by saying, we are Native, we are Choctaw. My sister likes to burn sage, right? And she uses like the abalone and the feather and all of that. And I don't, because I don't know, I'm not drawn to it as much, but I've always wanted like it's just a nice setup. It looks pretty. I don't have one though. But my sister does. She clears her environments with sage. So that is one. There's a lot of other things. I mean, you can do water. You can, I've seen people, they spritz water around the house, like with a little, like a little water bottle kind of thing. Praying over the house, asking for, your household gods and guardians to kind of, help you kind of figure out, what is this energy here? What is the situation? How can I help? That kind of thing. And if you don't feel comfortable doing all this, there are a lot of people. I can't mention anybody in particular, because I've never had somebody clear my house for me. And I would only really kind of offer up somebody that I know for sure does, good work. But I know that there's a lot of people who do come and do house clearings, or they do remote house clearings. And so you can go looking for that as well. Absolutely. But I do feel like this is not a nefarious energy at all. This is like kind of one of those watchers. This is somebody who just kind of hangs around because this is maybe where they like were born and grew up, and where they transitioned, right? Their whole life in this house. But, right, no matter why they're there, it can feel a little bit strange if you start to become aware that there is some kind of intelligence living with you, right? So, I mean, depending on whatever your experience and feeling is about this person, this entity, I can't give you advice exactly, because I don't really know. I don't know. I myself go about this in a lot of different ways. We attract a lot of different entities into our lives. My husband and I, say we. My husband and I. Shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. My husband, Paul. He's amazing. Go check him out. But I've always dealt with a lot of different kinds of entities and intelligences kind of showing up, right? And it's been different for each one. I'm not somebody who really likes to expel things unless I really have to. I like to commune and kind of, you know, figure out how can we coexist, or what do you need from me, or can I help in any way, or you want me to Google something for you, or, you know, whatever. So yeah, go listen to yourself. Listen to your intuition about this thing, okay? Now, we're going to do 3 numbers. I'm going to just roll this huge die. It has 100 sides to it, and we'll see what we get today. Okay, so we have 40, the number 40. Oh, you went 14, 40, 14, and 15. So we have 40, 14, 15. Very good. Now, we're also going to look at our Scentsy Child affirmation cards. This will be the last little note to leave on. Okay, I set appropriate boundaries and respect them. I set appropriate boundaries and respect them. Yeah, this is one I have to work on. I'm such a I feel like I either am on one side where I'm just hard about that. I'm just like, nope, done. Or just a pushover, right? And that's mostly just with my daughter. That's who I'm thinking about. She, trying to set boundaries with her. I know that I have to. I know I need to stick to them. She's, 4 years old. And of course, kids, they push boundaries. Well, I don't want to fight all the time. I don't like to argue all the time. I don't, and so, yeah, that's one thing I've really been working on, especially because school has started. So now it's like, I can't just be like, well, I might take away your iPad time if you don't listen. It's like, yeah, I got to be on it now. Like, we're going to do the little timeout, and we're going to, go to bed early, or, whatever it is. And I know, I feel like this card was for me. It's like reminded, stick to your word, Lenor. Stick to your word. All right. So, Gemini, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you, because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to leave a comment, I would love to hear all about you, your day, how things are going, what kind of ghost you're living with, or or whatever. If you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comment section. Other than that, I'm going to tell you again, I love you, I love you, I love you. Take care of yourself. And we'll talk in just a few days. Good night.